The United States aims to raise $200 billion in private and public funds over 5 years to fund needed infrastructure in developing countries under a G7 initiative aimed at countering China's multi trillion dollar Belt and Road project, the White House said on Sunday. The US President Joe Biden will unveil the plans flanked by other group of 7 leaders, some of whom have already unveiled their own private initiatives at their annual gathering being held this year in southern Germany. Increasingly worried about China, G7 leaders first floated plans for the project last year and are formally launching it now under a fresh title, Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment, while dropping the moniker Build Back Better World, first coined by Biden during his presidential campaign. Biden will unveil several specific projects at a G7 side event joined by leaders from Britain, Germany, Japan, the European Union, and Canada, vying to focus on projects that help tackle climate change as well as improve global health, gender equality, and digital infrastructure. Notably absent will be French President Emmanuel Macron, who had formally joined the Chinese infrastructure program. China's Belt and Road Initiative scheme, which Chinese President Xi Jinping launched in 2013, involves development and investment initiatives in over 100 countries with a range of projects including railways, ports, and highways. Symptoms of monkeypox cases in the UK differ from those observed in previous outbreaks elsewhere in the world, according to a study published in the Lancet Infectious Disease Journal on Saturday. The researchers looked at 54 patients who attended sex health clinics in London, UK, and were diagnosed with monkeypox during a 12-day period in May this year. The findings suggest that patients in this group had a higher prevalence of skin lesions in the genital and anal area and lower prevalence of tiredness and fever than in cases from previously studied outbreaks of monkeypox. Based on these findings, the researchers suggest current case definition for probable cases of monkeypox should be reviewed to help identify cases. They also predict that the high prevalence of genital skin lesions in patients and high rate of co-occurring sexually transmitted infections means that sexual health clinics are likely to see additional monkeypox cases in the future. The researchers call for additional resources to support services in managing this condition. Currently, the UK and several other countries are seeing a rapid increase in monkeypox cases among individuals attending sexual health clinics, with no apparent links to countries where the disease is epidemic. Former US President Barack Obama on Friday denounced the Supreme Court's decision striking down Roe v. Wade, the landmark decision that legalized abortion nationwide. He called it an attack on the essential freedoms experienced by millions of Americans. Today, the Supreme Court not only reversed nearly 50 years of precedent, it relegated the most intensely personal decision someone can make to the whims of politicians and ideologues, attacking the essential freedom of millions of Americans, tweeted Obama. Obama further noted that across US, states have moved to pass bills restricting abortion access. In a joint statement with his wife Michelle, Obama said that what Roe recognized is that the freedom enshrined in the 14th Amendment of the Constitution requires all of us to enjoy a sphere of our lives that isn't subject to meddling from the state. The former president also said the decision is unlikely to significantly reduce abortions, which he noted have been going down over the past several decades. Obama stressed that those without enough money, access to transportation, and leave from work would be impacted the most. The former Democratic president said Friday's ruling should serve as a powerful reminder of the central role the courts play in protecting our rights and of the fact that elections have consequences. Bangladesh has come of age as a huge turnaround story with the formal inauguration of the 6.15-kilometer railroad bridge on the Padma River on June 25, Saturday. This is the country's biggest infrastructure project since independence from Pakistan, which left Bangladesh bloodied and battered. But in 15 years down the line, and with Sheikh Hasina at the helm, this youngest nation in South Asia has excelled to become the bull case for the region. Bangladesh can finish the $3.9 billion Padma Bridge project with its own funds and has paid back fair and square. Hasina's long term adversary, the US, sided with Pakistan in 1971 liberation war and reputedly persuaded the World Bank to pull out of the project. For PM Hasina, the rosy economic picture emanating from the Padma Bridge will come as a shot in the arm in the rundown to the parliament election due in December 2023. Despite opposition's protest over enforced disappearance and rigged elections, even her critics have admitted that Hasina has a brilliant record of economic growth and human development during her 13 years in power. But for Sheikh Hasina, this is a moment of great pride and vindication of her decisive leadership that has given Bangladesh its golden decade of development. It was she who decided to do the project with Bangladesh own resources after the World Bank stalled the proposed funding, citing credible evidence of corruption, later thrashed away by a Canadian court. The Pakistan National Information Technology Board NITB has warned about shutting down mobile and internet services amid power outages in the country. Telecom operators in Pakistan have warned about shutting down mobile and internet services due to long hours of power outages nationwide, as the interruption is causing issues and hindrance in their operations, the NITB wrote on Twitter. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif warned the country that they might face increased load shedding in the coming months of July. Geo News reported. Pakistan could not get the required liquefied natural gas LNG supply. However, the coalition government was trying to make the deal possible, the PM said. Country has been facing a power crisis since it failed to agree on a deal for national gas supply next month. Refinitiv data has shown the country struggles to buy LNG for power generation amid a heat wave that is driving demand, reported Geo News. In a bid to boost energy conservation, Pakistan government has cut working hours for public servants and ordered shopping malls to factories to shut early in various cities including Karachi. The government is speaking to Qatar about a new 5 or 10-year LNG supply deal for 3 monthly cargoes as well as an additional cargo under an existing deal, Pakistan Finance Minister said. Inflation in Pakistan entered the double digit mark in July, the biggest surge in nearly 6 years. President Joe Biden predicted on Friday that some US states will try to arrest women for crossing state lines to get abortions after the Supreme Court overturned the constitutional right to the procedures nationwide. 13 Republican led states banned or severely restricted the procedure under so called trigger laws after the court struck down the landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade ruling last week. Women in those states seeking an abortion may have to travel to states where it remains legal. Convening a virtual meeting on abortion rights with Democratic state governors on Friday, Biden said he thinks people are gonna be shocked when the first state tries to arrest a woman for crossing a state line to get health services. He said, and I don't think people believe that is gonna happen. But it's gonna happen, and it's gonna telegraph to the whole country that this is a gigantic deal that goes beyond. I mean, it affects all your basic rights. Biden said the federal government will act to protect women who need to cross state lines to get an abortion and ensure their access to medication in states where it is banned. No Mexican governor told the meeting her state will not cooperate on any attempts to track down women who have had abortions to punish them. We will not extradite, she said. Serena Williams made her way out of the center court with a smile on her face despite losing on her Wimbledon comeback to world number 115 Harmony Tan of France. The 23-time Grand Slam champion and a 7-time winner at the championships knew she had given it her all in a valiant battle that lasted a staggering 3 hours and 10 minutes on Tuesday, June 28. It was not the ideal comeback for Serena Williams, who had to retire during her first round match at Wimbledon last year due to an injury. She went down fighting against Harmony Tan 5-7, 6-1, 6-7, but she brought joy to the millions of her fans who had turned in to watch her in whites again. Nonetheless, it was a brilliant night for Harmony Tan, who was making her Wimbledon debut. It was only the fourth grass court tournament in her career as she brought down Serena, who was featuring in her 21st Wimbledon. After seeing the draw, I was very scared. I was just hoping to win one or two games against Serena, Harmony Tan said, taking in the applause from the center court that lauded her courage and grit. Authorities found 46 migrants dead inside a tractor trailer on Monday in San Antonio, Texas, the city's fire department said in what appears to be one of the most deadly recent incidents of human smuggling along the US Mexico border. The San Antonio Fire Department said 16 other people found inside the trailer were transported to the hospital for heat stroke and extreme tiredness, including 4 minors. Officials also said 3 people were in custody following the incident. The truck was found next to railroad tracks in a remote area on city's southern outskirts. Mexico's foreign minister Marcelo Ebrard called the suffocation of the migrants in the truck the tragedy in Texas on Twitter and said the local consulate was en route to the scene, though the nationalities of the victims had not been confirmed. There have been a record number of migrants crossing at US Mexico border in recent months, which has sparked criticisms of the immigration policies of US President Joe Biden, a Democrat. Temperatures in San Antonio, which is about 250 kilometers from Mexican border, swelled to a high of 39.4 degrees Celsius on Monday with high humidity. In July 2017, 10 migrants died after being transported in a tractor trailer that was discovered by San Antonio police in a Walmart parking lot. The driver was sentenced the following year to life in prison for his role in smuggling operation. A Russian missile strike in Ukraine's southern port of Odessa early on Friday killed at least 10 people, a regional official said, a day after Ukraine drove Russian forces from the strategic Black Sea outpost of Snake Island. Earlier reports said 6 people had died in the nighttime strike on a residential building, including 3 children. The number of deaths as a result of a strike on the multi-story apartment building has now risen to 10. A spokesperson for the Odisha Regional Administration said on his Telegram channel, Reuters could not independently confirm details of the incident. It came after Russia on Thursday said it had decided to withdraw from Snake Island as a gesture of goodwill to show Moscow was not obstructing UN attempts to open a humanitarian corridor allowing grains to be shipped from Ukraine. Ukraine said it had driven Russian forces off the outcrop after an artillery and missile assault, with President Volodymyr Zelensky hailing the strategic win. It does not yet guarantee security, it does not yet ensure that the enemy will not come back, he said in his nightly video address, but this significantly limits the actions of the occupiers. Step by step, we will push them back from our sea, our land, and our sky. In contrast, however, Ukrainian forces were desperately hanging on against Russia's superior firepower in the city of Lysychansk. Russian artillery shelled from different directions while Russian army approached from several sides, regional governor Serhiy Haidai said on Ukraine television. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Sunday warned Russian pilots who shelled residential buildings in Kiev and said, "All pilots, dispatchers must understand that we will find you." He further said, "Judgment awaits you all," and called the act a war crime. This comes after Russian missiles struck an apartment block close to a kindergarten in Kiev on Sunday. As many as 4 explosions rocked Ukraine's capital city in the first such attack in weeks. President Zelensky also appealed to the Belarusians and said, "The Kremlin has already decided everything for you. Your lives are worthless to them. You are not slaves. You don't have to die. You can't let anyone decide what awaits you next." The missile strike, which killed 1 and wounded at least 6 people, came even as world leaders gathered in Germany for the G7 summit. US President Joe Biden reacted to the Russian missile strike and called it an act of barbarism. He further told allies at the G7 summit that we have to stay together against Russia. The G7 summit that took place in Germany on Sunday focused on the impact of the Russian-Ukraine war on food and energy supplies and the global economy. 4 of 7 nations moved to ban the import of Russian gold to tighten the sanctions imposed on Moscow. According to a report by AFP, Britain, the United States, Japan and Canada agreed on the ban on new Russian gold imports.